Life of Secrets, the George Blake Enigma. George Blake lived a life shrouded in secrecy. He was a man of multiple identities, a master of deception whose actions would leave an indelible mark on history. Born in Rotterdam in 1922 as George Behar, he would later adopt the name Blake, a moniker synonymous with one of the most damaging cases of espionage in British history. His early years were marked by the turbulence of World War II, which would shape his future in unexpected ways. Blake's betrayal of MI6, the British intelligence agency he served, sent shockwaves through the Western world. His actions were not just a breach of trust, but a seismic event in the world of espionage. He had operated as a double agent for the Soviet Union, betraying countless secrets and compromising countless lives. His covert operations were meticulously planned, making him one of the most effective spies of his time. His actions continue to fascinate and horrify, raising enduring questions about loyalty, ideology, and the treacherous nature of espionage. The tools of his trade were as varied as his motives, each telling a story of its own. Blake's story is a chilling reminder of the human capacity for duplicity. His life was a complex web of lies and truths, each layer revealing more about the man behind the mask. It is a tale of intrigue, betrayal, and the Cold War's enduring legacy. The era was rife with tension, and Blake's actions only added fuel to the fire, making him a pivotal figure in the annals of espionage. To understand how a man sworn to protect his country could inflict such devastating damage, we must delve into the complexities of his life, exploring the events and ideologies that shaped his treacherous path. Only then can we begin to unravel the enigma that was George Blake. A cosmopolitan upbringing, seeds of identity. George Blake's early life was a melting pot of cultures and experiences. Growing up in the vibrant city of Alexandria, he was surrounded by a rich tapestry of languages, traditions, and customs. Born to a Dutch Jewish father and a Protestant Dutch mother, he spent his formative years in Egypt. This unique blend of cultural backgrounds shaped his worldview from a very young age. The cosmopolitan environment of Alexandria exposed him to a diverse range of perspectives and beliefs. He learned to appreciate the beauty of diversity and the importance of understanding different viewpoints. This multicultural upbringing instilled in him a sense of not belonging to any one nation or ideology. Instead, he felt a connection to a broader human experience, transcending borders and boundaries. His education at a prestigious English language school further broadened his horizons. Here he was exposed to Western literature, science, and philosophy, which fueled his intellectual curiosity. Blake excelled academically, demonstrating a sharp intellect and a thirst for knowledge. His teachers recognized his potential and encouraged him to pursue his studies with dedication and passion. However, his comfortable existence was shattered by the outbreak of World War II. The once peaceful streets of Alexandria were now filled with uncertainty and fear. The war's chaos and destruction left an indelible mark on the young Blake, forcing him to confront the fragility of peace and the complexities of international relations. This period of turmoil would shape his future in ways he could never have imagined. War and espionage, from resistance fighter to double agent. As the war raged across Europe, Blake's life took a dramatic turn. He joined the Dutch resistance against Nazi occupation, displaying courage and a willingness to fight for his beliefs. His wartime experiences ignited a sense of adventure and a desire to serve a cause greater than himself. These qualities would later attract the attention of British intelligence. In 1944, Blake fled to Britain, where he joined the Royal Navy. His fluency in multiple languages and his wartime experiences made him a valuable asset to British intelligence. He was recruited by MI6 and underwent rigorous training in espionage and covert operations. Blake's superiors recognized his potential, unaware that the seeds of betrayal were already being sown. Behind enemy lines, the Korean War, and a change of allegiance. Blake's loyalty to Britain was put to the ultimate test during the Korean War. The conflict was a crucible that would reshape his beliefs and his future. In 1950, he was dispatched to Seoul as a vice-consul, a cover for his intelligence-gathering activities. This role placed him at the heart of the geopolitical struggle in the region. However, his mission was short-lived. The rapid advance of North Korean forces changed everything. North Korean forces captured him, and he spent the next 3 years as a prisoner of war. This period of captivity was a turning point in his life. It was during his captivity that Blake underwent a profound ideological transformation. The isolation and harsh conditions forced him to reflect deeply on his beliefs. He witnessed firsthand the brutality of war and the plight of the Korean people. The suffering he saw around him had a profound impact on his worldview. He became disillusioned with the West and convinced of the righteousness of the communist cause. The ideals he once held dear began to crumble. Blake's captors, recognizing his intelligence and susceptibility, cultivated his growing communist sympathies. They saw in him a valuable asset. He made the fateful decision to offer his services to the KGB, the Soviet intelligence agency. This decision marked a pivotal shift in his life. George Blake, the rising star of MI6, had become a double agent. His allegiance had shifted, altering the course of his destiny and the intelligence world forever. Section 5. The Mole Within MI6. Blake's devastating betrayal. Upon his release in 1953, Blake returned to Britain a hero, lauded for his resilience and unwavering patriotism. Unbeknownst to his MI6 superiors, he had become a valuable asset to the Soviet Union, a mole operating at the heart of British intelligence. For years, Blake supplied the KGB with a steady stream of highly classified information. He betrayed the identities of hundreds of Western agents operating behind the Iron Curtain, sending many to their deaths. Blake compromised sensitive communication channels and sabotaged countless Western intelligence operations. His betrayal had a devastating impact on Western intelligence-gathering capabilities, giving the Soviet Union a significant advantage during the height of the Cold War. Section 6. Unmasking a traitor capture, trial and imprisonment. Blake's treachery could not remain hidden forever. In 1961, a Polish intelligence officer defected to the West, exposing Blake's double life. The revelation sent shockwaves through MI6. The agency had been harboring a traitor within its ranks, a betrayal of unimaginable proportions. Blake was arrested and charged with espionage. His trial was a media sensation, captivating the public and exposing the shadowy world of Cold War espionage. He was found guilty and sentenced to an unprecedented 42 years in prison, the longest sentence ever handed down by a British court at the time. The severity of his sentence reflected the gravity of his crimes and the profound sense of betrayal felt by the British establishment. Section 7. The Escape, a daring flight to freedom. Imprisoned within the walls of Wormwood Scrubbs prison, Blake seemed destined to spend the rest of his days behind bars. However, his story was far from over. In 1966, with the help of sympathizers and a daring plan, Blake made a sensational escape. He scaled the prison walls with a rope ladder and disappeared into the night. His escape was a major embarrassment for the British government and a propaganda coup for the Soviet Union. Blake's escape route led him through Europe, aided by a network of Cold War sympathizers. He eventually made his way to East Berlin and then to Moscow, where he was welcomed as a hero by his Soviet handlers. Section 8. Life in Moscow, a Soviet hero's welcome. In Moscow, Blake was embraced as a hero of the Soviet Union. He was awarded the Order of Lenin, one of the Soviet Union's highest honors. He was given a comfortable apartment, a dacha in the countryside, and a pension. He worked as an intelligence trainer and consultant, sharing his knowledge of Western espionage tactics with the KGB. Despite his comfortable life in Moscow, Blake always maintained that he never regretted his actions. He remained a committed communist, believing that he had acted according to his conscience and in the best interests of humanity. He lived a long life in Russia, marrying again and having another son. He died in Moscow in 2020 at the age of 98. Section 9. Legacy of a double-agent traitor or ideologue. George Blake's legacy remains a subject of intense debate. Was he a traitor who betrayed his country for a flawed ideology, or was he a man of conviction who acted on his beliefs, however misguided they may have been? There are no easy answers. His case continues to fascinate and divide, serving as a stark reminder of the complexities of espionage and the moral ambiguities of the Cold War. George Blake's life was a tangled web of secrets, lies and betrayals. He was a man who lived a double life, torn between two worlds and two loyalties. His story is a cautionary tale about the enduring power of ideology and the human capacity for both great loyalty and devastating betrayal.